Hello, my name is Sean. In this video tutorial, we are going to take a step further from a logical data modeling. Long time ago, I created a video tutorial where I explained how to basically normalize a data from 0NF to 1NF, 1NF to 2NF, and 2NF to 3NF. Now, if you have not followed this video tutorial, just go on the previous video tutorial. I will also put this into the description of this video. Where you can actually follow along in order to create a data model based on the 3NF. Now we have the 3NF model in place. Let's delete that. What we need to do, the next step, is to generate an ERD. ERD stands for Entity Relational Diagram. ERD. Now, I've just created a new blank document. And in this blank document, I'm going to basically generate my ERD. There's multiple different ways to create an ERD. By using Microsoft Word or by using a professional tool or a free tool, which is the app.diagram.net. So I'm going to show you both ways. Let's authorize this. Create a new diagram. Let's type here, let's search for ERD. There is. So we search for ERD, Entity Relational Diagram, create. Yes. Okay. Okay, so it's giving me some tables here, which I can actually modify in a minute. But let's minimize this. Let's do this manually by using Microsoft Word. I'm going to go to Insert. Then select shapes. I'm just going to select this shape here. And out of my of my data modeling document, normalization document, I'm going to find the table with the most fields. In this case is the staff table here. So I'm going to copy all these elements here, including the table name. Copy this. I'm going to right click here and select paste. Now I've got some options. Keep source formatting. So I want to keep the source formatting. Oops. Let's Control Z to undo. Let's right click, add text. Then right click and select this option. And after each element, for example, the first element is the title, the table title, the table name, TBL staff. I'm going to press Shift and Enter on my keyboard. Shift, Enter, Shift, Enter, Shift, Enter. So I'm placing my mouse cursor just before the attribute, and then I'm pressing Shift, Enter, Shift, Enter, Shift, Enter, Shift, Enter, Shift, Enter, and so on and so forth until I have all my attributes one below the other. If needed, you're gonna have to make the shape a bit bigger. And once you have added a single line space, if I did not press Shift Enter and press the Enter key on my keyboard, I'm having a double line space. That's the reason why we selected Shift Enter. Now I can go before or after each attribute and click on the backspace a couple times to remove the space and remove the comma. It's not hard, it's just time consuming. But don't forget, you will get paid for that, for this job. Okay, so let's backspace that as well. Okay, actually, yeah, leave as this. All right, so we have our first table. Now I am going to replicate this shape here. I'm going to hold the control key down while I'm clicking and dragging to the other side of the page to replicate the shape. And now I'm going to go to the next big table that I have available. It's going to be the customer in this case. When I'm saying big table, the table with the most attributes. Another word for attribute is a field name. A field name is an attribute. An attribute is a field name. A table is an entity. Entity is a table. So I'm gonna follow the same process, Shift Enter, to add the spaces between the tables, the attributes. And now I can backspace to remove the commas and the spaces. Okay, I can make this table smaller now. Let's copy this. Let's highlight this. Right click, keep source formatting. So that's my supplier table. Again, I follow the same process, Shift Enter, Shift Enter, Shift Enter, and so on and so forth until all my attributes are on the individual lines, and then any spaces needs to be removed. Just gonna click here. I'm gonna hold the control key, click and drag, and place this on the other side. I'm going to highlight all the attributes, including the title of the table, copy. I'm going to highlight all these elements here. I'm going to paste, keep source formatting. And again, I'm following the same process, Shift Enter, Shift Enter, Shift Enter, Shift Enter. Now, if you have a clear view of exactly what I'm doing, you can actually skip the video to the moment where I have all my tables. Okay, the next biggest table I've got, I'm going to hold the control key down and click and drag. Let's click and drag here so we can see the whole data there. So let's delete all these elements. Okay, the next biggest table I've got is the product. I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna right click, select, paste, keep source. And then I'm gonna follow the same process. Shift Enter, Shift Enter, Shift Enter, Shift Enter, Shift Enter, and Shift Enter. What we can do, we can place this a bit further up. Can backspace to remove the commas and the spaces. Okay, the next thing is left now are all my small tables, gender, nationality. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 small tables. So I'm gonna click and drag that one here. And the only thing I need to keep here is the ID PK and the name, because this is exactly what all my small tables have. And I'm just gonna replicate this 6 times by holding the control key down. I'm gonna replicate this 6 times. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more time, 6 times. And the only thing I need to do now is just basically copy the title of the table. Again, you can use the shortcut Control C, Control V. I'm right clicking for the tutorial purposes. I usually use Control C, Control V on my keyboard. The process is quicker and easier. Okay, that's it. I finished the first stage of my ERD. My second stage now, the second stage is basically bring all the primary keys into the foreign keys. I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to now bring all the primary keys into the foreign keys. But to ensure that I'm not going to miss any foreign key, the first thing I need to do is go through the primary key, the foreign keys, to identify them. And I'm going to go to Insert, Shapes. I'm just going to add a line. I'm going to hold the Shift key down. If I hold the Shift key down, I will be able to create a straight line. Then I'm going to change the weight of the line to 6 pt there. And I'm going to change the color of the line to match the color of my text. And I'm going to hold the Control key down now to replicate 2 times this shape here. I'm going to click and drag as I'm showing on the video to generate. Oops, let's click away. Let's zoom in a bit. If you're struggling, you hold the Control key on the keyboard and zoom in. Just going to increase the size a bit here. Going to reduce the size. Here. So this is a symbol I want to create. Now I have created the symbol. I'm going to hold the Shift key down on my keyboard to highlight all these 3 elements. I'm going to right click. I'm going to select grouping and select group, which means that if I move this shape now, I'm moving this shape as one shape. Let's control and use the wheel on the mouse to zoom out. Okay, so now I have my shape here. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to click and drag to replicate this shape a number of times. Let's delete that. Let's make the shape slightly more narrow. just going to make it a little bit squashed. That will do. Okay. And now I'm going to hold the control key down to replicate this based off of my foreign keys. What I like to do to keep things nice and neat, every odd number here, I can actually flick this round and put this on this side. I'm going to delete that one here. I'm going to hold the control key down and place that one here. So, and as a result, they're not that crowded here. So I've got some more foreign keys here. I'm going to click and drag. Click and drag. I've got some more foreign keys here. Click and drag. I'm going to click and drag that one for the other side. Click and drag that one here. Click and drag. Click and drag. Again, I'm holding the control key down to do that. By holding the control key, I'm replicating my symbol. I'm deselecting, selecting that one. For some reason, my Microsoft Word still shows that it's selected, but isn't. Click and drag here. I'm going to deselect and click on that one. Select that one, click and drag that one here. And then I'm going to click on that one, click and drag. So now I have the symbol that represents to many relationship on every single of my foreign keys. Now my job is to identify the primary key, which is here. So in this case, what we need to do is go to shape, to insert shapes, and I'm going to add a line. And I'm going to hold the shift key down while I'm clicking and dragging. I'm going to make the line same color, and I'm just going to change the weight to 6pt. And now I'm going to click and drag by holding the control key down to add a single line next to primary keys. And because on the transactions I have the product ID, product IDFK, and customer IDFK, so I also need this line to go on the customer and this line to go on the product ID. Let's bring the product IDFK. Let's delete that from here. I'm just gonna replicate that. So we'll go on this side. Okay. Now the next thing I need to do is change the colors appropriately. So this color, the gender, let's double click here. The gender is orange. This orange, yeah. The nationality is kind of blue there, I think. Yeah, that will do. The title, that's correct. Now the town, city is purple. Now the customer is purple as well. So I'm just going to change the color, the font color of the customer to green. Okay, and I'm just going to change that to green. So use colors that you have not used. Right, that one, county. Let's change the color to something else. I'll change that to this color here, light gray. And county is light blue. Let's make it this blue here. Let's change the color. Same. country. So that's country here. Let's change that country IDFK. So if you need to make some small modifications to the color, now is the time to do it. So the reason why you're making the small modifications on the color is because you want to make sure that every single primary key has its own color. Every single table has its unique color. So this way you're not going to make a mistake in the future. So I've got the product here. I've just double click on this shape here. All right. Okay, so I've got my single lines now. So my gender, I'm gonna click on this line now. I'm gonna use the Home tab and I'm gonna double click on the Format Painter brush. And wherever I have gender, I'm just gonna click once here to change the arrow, the too many relationship symbol, to this color. So I'm gonna click once again to deselect it. Now I'm gonna go to the nationality. I'm gonna click here once, double click on the Format Painter brush. I'm gonna click here on nationality. So now the nationality is here as well. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna deselect this now. I'm gonna click here on the title. In fact, the title has been done already. I'm gonna click here on the town city, double click on the Format Painter brush, go to the town city, and town city. I'm gonna click here once to deselect. The next one is light gray I've used. So for the county, double click the Format Painter brush. So I'm gonna find the county. Here is the county. I need to change the color here as well. So county, that's country, county, and county. I'm gonna click here. I just need to change the colors here for the county to this gray. I can double click here on the Format Painter brush and highlight here as well, county, and finally county here. So my color matches the shape. Okay, and next is the country. So I need to double click here, Format Painter brush, click here country, country, and country, and finally is the product. I just need to click once here. I don't have to double click it. When you double click in the Format Painter brush, you lock it. If you single click it, you can only use it once. Okay, now I've done this. All the colors are matching. So the next thing I need to do now is click on this line here, hold the Control key down, click and drag, and basically just connect the lines. So I'm gonna click here, click and drag, and connect the lines, but I want to go, I'm gonna go straight up, and then I'm gonna go across, just to keep things neater. Okay, so click and drag, gonna go up, click and drag, click and drag. It's gonna go around here. Again, your lines doesn't have to be straight, but if you do like straight lines, you just need to spend a little bit more time. So now I can click and drag that one that way as well, because I've got some on this side. I'm gonna click and drag that one here. Connect that. And can click and drag that one here. Click and drag by holding again the control key down. Click and drag. Click and drag. Hold the control key down. Basically what you do, you connecting the lines. That's all you do. Use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move things left, right, up, down as well. Oops, that's the customer actually. See, it is important to color code them correctly, so you're not going to miss anything. Oops, we have green actually, the transaction is green. So the customer has to be a different color. In fact, I'll keep the customer this color, green. It's going to change the color of the transactions to, let's put light gray, that one. Okay, so that's not the customer, so that's the customer. So I'm gonna click and drag that. So think of pipelines. You just create some pipelines, that's all. The ERD, the purpose of the ERD is to show how data will be shared throughout the database, how the tables will be linked with each other. So I'm going to use this now, use the Format Painter brush, click once here, use the Format Painter brush again because I did double click it. Okay, you can use the arrows on keyboard to move things around. Okay, so now I need the purple here. And I need that one here as well. Select my country here. Okay, this table is fully connected now. Just going to connect that one here now. Connect that one here as well. Oops. Let's delete that one. There's lots of fireworks outside. Yesterday was a bonfire night. It's the 6th of November today. If you're British, you will know the purpose of the celebration. If you're not, you need to do some research about Guy Fawkes. Okay, so we have here orange, hold the control key down, oops. Okay, let's go through what else is missing here. That one here, the county. Let's go around. Okay, couple more left now for me to do. So this is one of them. And this one more here. Let's bring it back a bit. Now, if you want to extend the line here, you can always double click. But it's going to be a bit difficult. Let's zoom in a bit. Double click. I can click and drag to increase the line there. That's okay. Alternatively, Ctrl Z to undo. I can click and drag by holding the Control key down, get a smaller line there to connect. Okay, so let's revise here what's happening. So starting with the title. So the title ID goes to my title primary key. I also have title foreign key here on the customer. Okay, so the title goes on both. Then I've got gender ID, goes to the gender table on the primary key, and I bring it down as well to the supplier for gender. Then I have the nationality, goes to the nationality primary key. So from the primary key to the foreign key, one two main relationships there. One nationality can be applied to many staff. So for example, you could have many staff who are from England, so on and so forth. So you can have many staff who are male or many staff who are female. You have many customers who are male or female. You have many suppliers who are male or female. Okay, so the next one is the town city. So you can have many staff from the same town, from the same city. You can have many customers from the same town, same city, and you can have many suppliers from the same town, same city. So the next relationship is the county. You can have many staff from the same county, and you can have many suppliers from the same county. You have many customers from the same county. The next one is country. You can have many staff from the same country. You can have many suppliers from the same country, and you can have many customers from the same country. And this represents too many, as we mentioned before. Okay, the staff table is fully finished. We go to the transactions table here. We have one product can be implemented to many transactions. So one Mars bar can be purchased. Okay, the product Mars bar can be purchased by many clients many times. Okay, and one client can also have many transactions. Okay, these tables are done now. Let's go to the customer here. As you can see here, from the customer we are on the transaction. So we have the gender, we have the town, we have the county, we have the title, we have the nationality, and then we have the country. And then from the supplier we have the gender, we have the town, we have the county, and we have the country. So all our relationships are fully completed now. Another way to do this, which in most cases looks a bit more tidy, is by actually go through to the app.diagrams.net. What you need to do, let's delete that. You already have some tables to start with. I'm just going to delete everything so I can actually show you how it works. So we have the first table, the first entity, and we're going to increase that. And we have here some attributes, and we can copy and paste, Control C, Control V to paste the attributes, and we can basically Shift Enter, Shift Enter, Shift Enter. Basically we'll do exactly what we did before. Once you familiarize yourself with VRDs, and you're not going to need the colors anymore. This is only for beginners. Okay, remove the commas and the extra spaces. You can zoom in, zoom out using the wheel on the mouse and the control key on your keyboard. Okay, don't forget to put the name of the table. Control C, Control V, and I'm gonna make this smaller now. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and if I hold the Control key down, clicking and dragging, we'll be able to replicate it. Use the mouse on my wheel, clicking and dragging to actually move things around. Just gonna copy this, Control V to paste, and copy the two attributes, Control C to copy, and Control V to paste, Shift Enter. Let's change that, oops, Control Z to undo. Let's change the size a little bit. And here I'm going to have one gender to many customers, so many customers will have the same gender. So to do this, I need to go to the Entity Relational Diagram, scroll down, and use the one-to-many relationship. In fact, this is zero-to-many, one-to-many, that's the one. And I'm going to click and drag this to gender. Go and click and drag this to the primary key here. I think this is as far as it's gonna go, or what you can do, just put it there. Let's reduce the width. Yeah, that's better. But once you've done the relationship, oops, Control Z to undo. Once you've done your relationship, you can actually move things around, and the relationship will always be there. And by following the same process, you will be able to actually have a similar thing to this. You can always change the colors of the tables as well. You have a variety of different colors. You can play with the colors, or you can play around with the colors. You can change the font color as well. You can change the border color, and so on and so forth. So you can make the lines dotted, solid. You can increase the PT there. You can change the color, and so on and so forth. Once you're happy with your ERD, you can go to File, select Save As first of all, save it, and then File, and then select Export As, and then you can export as, I prefer exporting this as PNG. Make sure you select Transparent Background. Okay, I'm just going to download that. Go show in folder. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go to Microsoft Word. Control N for a new document. I'm going to show you why it is important if you save it as save it as transparent background. If I put insert and shapes, I could put a shape. This shape represents databases, so I can select that one, and then Control V to paste. I'm just gonna change the order of this, order sent behind text, and here we have RERD. I can change that to in front of text, so we can actually place it around. Then you can increase the size, so then you can actually have your ERD in a fancy background if you like. You can also do this the same on the previous document here, but you won't be able to see the stuff unless you can double click here and change the fill to no fill. Okay, so again, it's up to you how you're gonna create your ERD. You can always make the font sizes smaller, so you can make the boxes smaller so you can fit things in a better way. You can always make the lines smaller as well, change the weight of the lines, again to ensure that everything fits in one page. The good thing with this tool here, if you want to increase the page, if I click and drag this, oops, not that one. Let's zoom in. Let's Control Z. If I click and drag upwards, as you can see, is adding more page. The page is increased. So if I click and drag to the left or to the right, as I fill in the pages, the page will increase. So make sure you use the Entity Relational tools. And this is how you create an ERD, Entity Relational Diagram. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I'm going to see you in the next video tutorial where I'm going to teach you how to develop data dictionaries. Bye for now.